Hi, welcome to Simple Shifts Conversations to Fuel the Body, Mind, and Soul. I'm Martha McKinnon from the blog Simple Nourished Living. And with me is Peter, my partner, and my brother.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So today we're going to talk about all things air fryer. Back when we decided to launch this podcast, we reached out to our readers and solicited ideas and questions for topics. And air fryer came up several times. People wanting to know about how to use the air fryer, looking for air fryer recipes. We've both become fans of the air fryer, so I thought it would be fun for us to share our experience, share how we're using our air fryer, what we've learned about them. But before we dive in, what's going well in your world? What are you happy about?
I'm happy to report that we're now on podcast number 35, um, which is good for us. And I've been, I'm not really a meal planner per se, but I've always struggled with dinner. Dinner's always been like a challenge for me because I tend to work right up till dinner time and then not really have a plan necessarily. So I've been trying to do more, use more your idea of component meal prepping, meal planning, just to have various ingredients at the ready so that when dinner time rolls around and you're ready to eat, you can just sort of pick and choose and um, pull a meal together relatively quickly and painlessly, depending on what I feel like having. Which was always been one of my personal issues with meal planning is I just don't always know what I'm gonna feel like um, at any given meal for on any given day. So just kind of weird that way.
I don't think you're weird. I think a lot of people probably share that. Don't
No.
don't count yourself as weird. A lot of people say like, "How can I possibly know and plan what I'm going to want?" Because there's so many variables.
Mm-hmm.
What's the weather going to be like?
Mm-hmm.
What did I have? Maybe I got had lunch out or yeah. So plans shift. I think a flexible approach is important so you don't get locked in. You know. So how is that? How is this working for you? This whole like component approach where you have a few things ready to go.
It's
Is it
good.
helping?
It still takes a little work and preparation, because it is good to have your quinoa or rice or pasta kind of cooked so that you don't have to worry about, um, you know, making that at dinner time. Um, but what I really like is, you know, buy several vegetables when I grocery shop and maybe have um, some chicken breasts or either chicken tenders, maybe cook them ahead or um, buy a rotisserie chicken or whatnot and have a we're not big beef eaters, so chicken, fish, shrimp, sort of have that ready to go, and then it's just a matter of do you want to have green beans or do you want to have broccoli or do you want to have pesto? Do you want to have red sauce? Do you want to have like a Asian-y kind of um, sesame or keep it simple, put it on a salad. I mean, it's just a matter of it's so much easier to pull that together in the moment when I can adjust it based on what I feel like. So it's going good in that regard, but it's still work, just not as much work for me. Um,
Well, good. Well, I'm happy that that's working because I found it to be very beneficial to just spend a little time on Sunday or throughout the week, cooking, prepping ahead. I love roasted
mhm.
vegetables, so a couple of trays of roasted vegetables. And last week I did what we love is the onions. That mom used to make it. The onions and peppers and potatoes and chunks of sausage, Italian sausage, all roasted together. So I made a couple of big trays of that, and we ended up eating it twice. And then I used leftovers to make a soup,
Mm.
and I added kale and broth and turned the leftovers into a soup, and it's made dinner so much easier. Um, I intend to use a little bit that's left and make a
Mm.
frittata. So I'll chop it up a little more finely, warm it, add some egg and cheese, and it's basically given us almost a whole week of, food because I like frittata. I don't tend to eat big breakfast like that, but I love frittata for lunch or dinner. A wedge of frittata just warmed up quick in the microwave with a simple
Hmm.
salad, and it's dinner.
I
So
would put that
so I'm glad
I
that
would
it's
put that
working.
with scrambled eggs in a wrap and make a nice hearty wrap.
Yep, or a hearty wrap. That's another good idea. So that was a recipe that I just updated. Was
Mm.
an old burrito recipe, and it was a combination of mushrooms and lentils and kale mixed with some salsa and some cumin, all stirred together, and then put on a wrap with a little bit of goat cheese.
Mm.
And it's so interesting because I happened upon the recipe and it dates back like to 2014, and it definitely needed new pictures. And I had totally forgotten about it. We've gotten to the point now where we've done so many recipes and been doing this so long. It's fun to go back into the archives and rediscover recipes that you'd forgotten about. So now I have that combination that again can be turned into a wrap. It can be put on some quinoa or some rice. It can be turned into a soup. So again, I just find this it's just a versatile way to feed yourself depending you're saying like what you're going to want to eat in the
Hmm.
moment in case you're not going to know many days ahead. So good. I'm glad that's working. And it really does take us right into the air fryer when you talk about having buying several veggies and then just having to cook them off. Do you like cooking veggies in the air
Yeah,
fryer?
right now it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite thing to cook in the air fryer because I like this, especially with like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. You get like a little charring, um,
Mm-hmm.
which I like, and it's easy to do. It's minimal cleanup. You don't really need a recipe. You just pick your favorite vegetable, spray it with a little oil so the seasoning will stick. Mix in whatever you want seasoning wise, and then cook it off. And you can easily stop and start it several times while it's cooking. Check on its doneness. Yeah, so I've really I have tried to bake in it, but that's a little trickier for me because um, like the, excuse me, like the outside or top will like start to like overcook and possibly burn, and like the inside middle's not really done yet. So that's a work in progress, and I haven't really, I don't know that I've really cooked like chicken in it per se. I mean, I've it's good for heating up frozen or pre-cooked, something that's already cooked that just needs a heating. But yeah, I'd say veggies are by far my favorite. Um,
Well, good. And I think what I found with the air fryer is it's helpful to just think of it as like a mini oven that gets hot
mhm.
faster. So it preheats faster. It allows you to cook faster because you're getting more intensity in a small space. And so instead of thinking about needing special recipes, I find it helpful to just think about, well, what would I typically cook in the oven or even on the stove top? And you haven't cooked chicken, but I've had great success with boneless, skinless chicken
Oh,
breasts. Um, and I flatten them, just to make sure they're, an inch or less thick, maybe a half inch thick, just flatten them. And I've had good success letting them come out to room temperature and then, cooking them in the hot with in the hot air fryer, 360 to 400 degrees. They cook fast and they've been tender and delicious. I like to use Italian seasoning. I like, Penzi's granulated roasted garlic. I like the Montreal steak seasoning. There's so many like seasonings available now, and just pull them out, and they've been good and quick. And what I love is I don't have air conditioning, and so I love the fact that it doesn't heat up the whole house the way turning on my oven does. So just think about it as well. What I can anything that I would cook on in a skillet, anything I would cook in the oven, under the broiler, on the grill, I can cook in the air
Mm-hmm.
fryer. And again, we're a family of two, and so it's a perfect
Mm-hmm.
size for cooking. The other thing I just tried, I green beans. I love green beans. Again, because I like that roasted, I like that charred little bit that they get. Um, in addition to the broccoli, carrots. Carrots are another one. Any of the root veggies work well roasted. If you mix up like carrots and potatoes and onions together, and roast them off, they're delicious. And I like sort of the meal in one, where you can cook even side by side. And I learned this tip from a cooking class that I'm taking. Jules from the Stone Soup offered her joyful cooking class at a discount, and it's a 3-month course, and she's basically teaching people how to cook really really simply without recipes, which I find so beneficial. And what her suggestion is, she has different templates. So oven cooking, or putting together what we would really call a magic no cook meal with kind of pre-cooked ingredients, pasta, just different templates. And when she said just learn the template, and then you can just again mix and match. So what she demonstrated in the air fryer, which was really clever, was frozen spinach on one half of the air fryer, and then a frozen salmon fillet right beside in the basket. Um, 400 degrees in the air fryer in 10 minutes. Both were done perfectly. And then again, just season at will, whatever seasoning you might want on your salmon, of course, salt and pepper, but, do you want soy sauce? Do you want some type of Asian-y teriyaki? Do you want pesto? So she's just this big advocate for keeping your meals real simple and just thinking in terms of sauces and garnishes. So that was clever, and something that, again, if you're one or two, it's just sort of one and done in the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, again, that's something you could do on a sheet
Mm-hmm.
pan as well. And she did suggest that as the alternative. So we have several air fryer recipes on our website, and we can clearly link out to those. But I would just encourage folks who want to use the air fryer to just think about any recipe or any dish that you like making. And like Peter says, don't be intimidated by it. You can open it, you can close it, you can check on your food. It's really quick to stop and start again, which is nice. And so you don't have to, I think, again, like anything, it's just a matter of working with it, playing with it, experimenting with it. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. And I just keep mine on the counter. It's just always
Mm-hmm.
ready to go. Warming up leftovers. It's another great um, device, especially if you want to keep, if particular leftovers, you want to keep them crispy, like a flatbread or pizza or anything like that. It's a great tool for warming up again, and it happens so much more quickly than you if you tried to do that in the oven.
Mm-hmm. I think the recipe for sheet pan shrimp and broccoli would be really good in the air fryer.
Yep, we should probably update that one, because you're right, that would be another. Um, and that recipe comes from one of my favorite cookbooks that I go back to again and again, where that was one of her sort of templates. This whole concept of doing your veg and your protein in a sheet pan in a hot oven. And I'll go back and look at some of her alternatives too, because maybe it's time to come up with a post
Mm.
um, listing all those different things that you could just do in the air
Right,
fryer,
and I think too
real
it's
quick
it's
and easy
important
with
it's
both.
important to remember you don't have to put them in at the same time. Like I'm thinking the broccoli shrimp,
Right,
if your broccoli is fresh, you might want to start that first. And if your
exactly.
shrimp
Yep.
is not frozen, if it's if it's thawed, it's only going to need a couple minutes. So, start your broccoli, get it going when it's halfway done or so, then you toss in the shrimp and then you could finish it off together. That's how I would do it.
Absolutely, and that very well could be the recipe, and even in the oven,
Mm,
because you're right, shrimp would cook more
mm,
quickly. And so again, that's something you just want to be mindful of. And it's like you said, it's really easy to open the basket and then just add in the ingredient that's going to take much less time so that you don't end up with overdone
mm-hmm.
shrimp, or if you had a fish fillet that was not, frozen,
Something else I want to try is
just
like I as a kid I used to love uh, like a toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Kind of do that in
oh.
an air fryer, right? Get some good whole grain bread and peanut butter or jelly, or like a grilled cheese, because I love grilled cheese,
Mm-hmm.
but I like dry grilled cheese. Like I hate when there's so much butter or oil in the pan and the sandwich gets or the bread gets kind of not soggy, but I just like it like dryly toasted. So that's something that I want to try one of these days. I think would be yummy.
It's almost like a toasted cheese, which I think sounds yummy. And so, if you try that and it works out well, I think it's another great recipe for the website. Because again, I think a lot of people share that where they don't like them overly
Mm.
greasy. And sometimes I've done just like toast with a slice of cheese in the middle, but again, then the cheese doesn't melt quite as much as you might like. So this could be the perfect
And I've also
solution for
right, and I've
toasty
seen
or
some people
bread.
like maybe if you're cooking a burger in the air fryer, it could be messy, like to if you want a cheeseburger to put the cheese on. But if you cook the burger till it's done, right, that the air fryer is still hot, then you open it up, put your slice of cheese on, close it up. Don't turn it back on, but just let the heat from the heat that it's already there,
Hmm.
just leave it in there for another 30 or 45 seconds, and then the cheese gets nice and melty. So, um, again, I haven't cooked a burger, but
That's,
it'd be easy enough to do.
yeah. So I think the air fryer is just this wonderful device, especially for smaller families. And I encourage everybody to experiment. We'll link out to our favorite air fryer recipes and also some of our oven recipes that would be easily, changed up to work in the air fryer. And if anybody listening or watching this has favorite air fryer recipes they'd want to share, would love to get that input.
Most definitely. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll be back soon.
Take care.